Hello and welcome to our channel. Here we are on The Guardian, and today I want to talk about a very important topic. At least it's important to me, and I'm sure for many of you that will watch this video, it will be also just as important to you. And the topic is simply your vote counts. I understand and I realize that many people, because of the election in 2020, we don't think our vote counts anymore. I've heard that so much, over the last couple of years, where people have said to me, Dan, we're just not going to vote anymore, or, what does it matter anyway if we vote because they're just going to steal the election? And that is exactly, listen to me very carefully, that is exactly what the left wants you to think. They want you to think that your vote doesn't count. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something, that your vote does count. Your vote does matter. I think about Mississippi, and I think about we have an election coming up in November to where we have a Democrat, is a Joe Biden Democrat running against a Trump Republican, and our Governor Tate Reeves. And if we stay at home and if we don't vote, and if all of us as conservatives stay at home and don't vote, then you bet your bottom dollar that the Democrats are going to get out and vote, and they're going to turn our state blue. So once again, I just want to tell you that your vote does count. It absolutely counts. I think about in Louisiana. Louisiana has a blue. It's blue right now. They have a Democrat for a governor, and we just had an election last Saturday. And because the Republicans come out and voted, there's not even going to be a runoff in the Republican or in Louisiana for governor, because the Republicans come out and voted, and the candidate for the Republican Party won with over 52% of the vote. The lieutenant governor, that was running, he won with like 65% of the vote. And it's amazing. It is because people come out and voted. They understood that their vote counted. And so here in Mississippi, I'm hearing from a lot of people, well, our vote doesn't count. No, your vote does count. It absolutely counts, and we must get out and vote. It is so very important, not just for the future of our state, but for the future of our nation, that Mississippi stays red. Oh, the Democrats, they want to change this state blue. They're spending millions of dollars. They are pouring in 3-4 times as much money as they poured in, in the 2019 election, whenever they had Jim Hood. And so it's important that we as Republicans get out and vote. I want to read you something. This is so good. And this is really good. I want you to listen to this. James Madison said this. James Madison said, "The people are the only legitimate fountain of power." You hear that? That's good. The people are the only legitimate fountain of power, and it is from them that the constitutional charter under which the several branches of government hold their power is derived. That's what James Madison said, and I agree wholeheartedly. He is saying that the power in Jackson, or the power in D.C., or the power in Baton Rouge, or the power in whatever capital whatever city the capital is in for your state, for all of us, the United States capital is in D.C. So that power that they have is derived from the people. And if we don't vote, then they're just going to maintain that power, or they're going to think that it doesn't matter what they do. And so it's important. I love what James Madison said there. Here's what Thomas Jefferson said. Thomas Jefferson said, "We do not have a government by the majority." Listen to me. This is good. We have government by the majority who participate. There is over 3 million people, or right at 3 million people, that live in Mississippi. In the Republican primary, in this last Republican primary, I want you to listen to these numbers. Now listen, there's 3 million people in Mississippi. In the Republican primary, we had 365,000 people that voted in the Republican primary in 2023. The Democrat primary, they had 196,000 people. Now in 2019, in the Democrat primary, they had 290,000 people. 290,025 votes out of 1,768 precincts in the state of Mississippi. That was in 2019. In 2023, the Democrat primary had 196,307 people out of all of those precincts. The Republican primary was around 365 to 375. So if you do the numbers, that's about 575,000 people picked the nominees for the Democrat Party and for the Republican Party. And so now that is who picks who's going to be running on those primaries for the Republican or for the Democrat. There's still 3 million people in Mississippi. There was like 2.5 million people that did not vote. Now, I realize and understand that a lot of those are children, but once again, it goes back to what Thomas Jefferson said. We do not have government by the majority. We have government by the majority who participate. And so we must participate. We must get out and vote. So once again, let me just say, your vote counts. Your vote counts. Don't you think for a second that your vote doesn't count, because it does. I like what John Adams said. Oh, this is good. He said, remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. And boy, that is so true. It is because a lot of people just throw up their hands and they say, my vote doesn't matter. My vote doesn't count. They stole the last election. There was a lot of fraud. And I would agree that there was a lot of fraud. But ladies and gentlemen, it is 2023. We must get out and vote. We must get out and vote. It is your civic duty to get out and vote. I think about our military. Right now, we have men and women in harm's way. That's over in the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea, and all over the world that are there, that are willing to serve for our freedom. And then we're not going to vote? We're not going to vote? I have family members that are in the Middle East right now. They are willing to put their life on the line. For them, I'm going to go out and vote in November. For them, I'm going to go out and I'm going to vote. And so because I understand how important it is for us to vote, and that our vote does matter. Our vote does count. It's your voice. It is your voice. Your voice matters. When I go into the voting booth in November and I'm going to vote, and I'm going to vote straight Republican. Every single Republican that is on the ticket, that's how I'm going to vote. The first person that I will vote for will be for the governor. That is going to be my voice. My voice is going to Tate Reeves for governor against Brandon Presley. That is my right. That is my vote that I have, and that is my voice. I'm going to vote for Michael Watson for Secretary of State. I'm going to vote for Lynn Fitch for Attorney General. I'm going to vote for David McRae for State Treasurer. I'm going to vote for Shad White for State Auditor. I'm going to vote for Agriculture Commissioner. I'm going to vote for Andy Gibson. Insurance, I'm going to vote for Cheney. And I hope I didn't miss anybody, but I'm going to vote those 8 right down the line. And then whenever it comes to the state Senate, I'm going to vote for State House. I'm going to vote for Jay McKnight. State Senate, I'm going to vote for Mike Seymour. That is how I'm going to vote. When it comes to supervisor, I'm going to vote for Rebecca Powers. For sheriff, I'm going to vote for, Matt Haley. My mind went blank. I'm going to vote for Mr. Haley for sheriff. And so that is how I'm going to vote whenever it comes to election time. For PSC, Public Service Commissioner, I'm going to vote for Wayne Carr. And that's how I'm going to vote. And so that is how I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote Republican, and that is how my voice is getting heard whenever I go in there. And whenever it comes time on that night, whenever they announce the results, one of those votes will be mine. And so Wayne Carr, he will have 1 vote come from Dan Carr. Tate Reeves, 1 vote come from Dan Carr. All of them, right down the line, they got 1 vote. That is my voice. That is my civic duty to get out and to vote. And also, I'm letting my voice be heard right here, and trying to encourage you to get out and vote. I want to vote to influence policy. That's one reason why I vote. I vote because of accountability. It keeps our elected officials accountable whenever we get out and vote. I vote because of representation. I want to have representation there in Jackson, so I'm going to get out and vote. There's lots of reasons why I'm going to get out and vote, and because of these reasons, I want to encourage you to get out and to vote. You say, Dan, does my vote matter? It does. It matters so much that I started a group in Mississippi called Let Mississippi Vote, because I believe that the vote matters. Let me ask you a question. How much do you value your vote? You know, so many people, they don't value their vote, but I value my vote, because I believe this. I believe 100% that your vote matters. And it's important that we all understand that our vote does matter. And so let's get out and vote in November. It's important. Whenever it comes to Jackson, and after November, we'll have new representation, or we'll have some of the new representation, people that we voted on. And then comes January, they're going to begin to make decisions, and they do things, and they put House bills and bills on the floor and bills in the Senate. And there are some bills that I might not like. There are some bills that I do like. Why? I have a question. Why do I have a right to voice my opinion if I don't vote in November? Why do I have that right? So I want you to vote. I'm going to vote, and let's let our voices be heard. Now, I would love to see this in Mississippi. I believe that when it comes to our voting, I do believe that there is a change that we need to make. There's probably a lot of changes, but there's one change that I believe that we need to make, and that is we need to make people register. So right now in Mississippi, you don't have to register as a Republican. You don't have to register as an independent or a Democrat, or you don't have to register as a Libertarian. I would love to see a bill get passed, where people have to register to vote. So here's what that means. In the Republican primary, you have, your candidates, and because you don't have to register to vote, the Democrats can come over and vote in the Republican primary, and vice versa. The Democrats, if they have a candidate, the Republicans can come over and vote in the Democrat primary. I don't think that's right. I think the Democrats are to pick their representative for their party. I think the Republicans are to pick theirs for their party. I don't think the Democrats are to have a hand in who the Republicans pick. I don't think the Republicans are to have a hand in who the Democrats pick. I think the Republicans are to pick their person. I think the Democrats are to pick their person. And then you go to the general election in November. So I really strongly urge our representatives and our senators in Jackson to let's pass a bill so that to make people register by party. You register Republican and you vote Republican. You register Democrat and you vote Democrat. You register Libertarian and you vote Libertarian. You vote according to how you register. I think that is very, very important. Right now in Mississippi, we don't have that. It's an open primary. And so Democrats vote in the Republican primary, and you have Republicans that vote in the Democrat primary. And so there's no real primary. And so we need to fix that in Mississippi. We need to make sure that we have election integrity. And one way to have integrity in our elections is to make people register by party. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's not hard. You register if you're a Democrat. You register as a Democrat, and you vote in the Democrat primary. You're a Republican, you register as a Republican, and then you vote in the Republican primary. If you're an independent, you register as an independent, and then you vote independent. If you register as a Libertarian, then you vote Libertarian. You vote according to your party. And so I believe that is very important. And so I really want to see that happen in Mississippi. So one thing that I'm going to do, one thing that I would like to do is start having talks with some of our elected officials to try to let's get this on the table, because I believe that it is so very important. I was hosting our governor the other day at a forum, and he was answering a lot of questions, and he answered a lot of tough questions and hard questions, and he gave a lot of great answers. And our governor alluded to the fact, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but our governor alluded to the fact that we need to start having this conversation in order to make people register. Now that has to be a bill passed. It has to get out of the Senate, has to get out of the House, has to go to the governor's mansion or the governor's desk to be signed. But it is something that I believe is very important, so people register by party. I am for that 10 million%. Republicans vote in their primary, Democrats vote in their primary. And I believe that is so important, and I would love to see that get passed in Mississippi. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you, and I want you to know that your vote does count. And I hope that this video was a help to you and a blessing to you. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. Copy and paste the link, share it with friends and family. We're going to be talking a lot about this kind of stuff on our channel, especially as we get into the presidential elections, talking about our candidates and things of that nature. But I just want all of you to understand and know this, that no matter what happens in 2020, no matter what happened back then, that your vote does count and your vote matters. And let's get people out in November to vote. And I believe that that is very important. Thanks for tuning in to The Guardian. Thanks for watching. And I really appreciate it very much. And once again, let's never forget to pray for the nation of Israel, especially during this time. Let's pray for our men and women in uniform. Let's pray that God will keep them safe. And let's pray that God will protect them, and the same with the nation of Israel. God bless you. God bless the nation of Israel. And God bless the great United States of America.